Today on Legends of Rod and Reel, we're off to one of the greatest sport fishing locations in the world, Key West, Florida. You want sharks? We got it. We catch up with legendary angler Ken Harris. This man knows a thing or two about world records. Next on Legends of Rod and Reel.
All who seek fish are not created equal. Some anglers who ply the waters possess a passion unbridled, with catching skills unmatched. With all fish, they see eye to eye. They are the Legends of Rod and Reel.
A west wind makes it odd to even just pull off the dock, doesn't it? Let's go back into Jewfish Basin. We'll go back there and find some lemon sharks, and it'll be pretty cool.
No doubt about it. It's always pretty cool when you go shark fishing with Ken Harris.
We're gonna go up into the backcountry back here in Key West.
With son Clay and friend Billy Green, the three head out to a little spot called Jewfish Basin.
It's just beautiful. One of my very favorite places to go. We'll be setting up right on the flat, right on the edge of a channel, drawing in some lemon sharks and stuff, and we'll play with them with fly rod and swimming lures, and it'll be fun.
Sharks and fly rods? It's what made Harris a legendary angler.
So it's a unique situation that the Florida Keys have, and it's just, that's why I moved to the end of the road, was to have situations like this that you just don't have anywhere else.
The end of the road came during the 70s when Harris and a longtime friend began making fishing trips from Fort Lauderdale to Key West.
Started fishing Everglades City and stuff, and then fished some in Isla Morada, and then finally said, hey, you know, we've got to go to Key West.
We put it off for like 3 weeks, and finally I said, I'm picking you up this Friday night, no excuses. And I had a 68 Mustang convertible. We put some rods and some coolers in the back and went to the Keys and caught a tarpon and a shark, and we went to the Keys every weekend after that.
It wasn't long before Bruce landed a kingfish, and the two hit the big time.
He sets the hook and, you know, sort of long story short, hooks this fish, drops a ton of line, and I said, must be a wahoo? He goes, I think it's a kingfish. And I said, there aren't any kingfish that run like that, Bruce. That was too much line. Reels it up, and sure enough, it actually is a kingfish, and I gaff it, and we catch a 62¼ pound kingfish. That was a new IGFA record. I turned to Bruce and I said, you know what, I'm moving here. And literally within 6 months, I was living here.
As the records fell, Ken established a style all his own.
The shark fishing on fly, that is his thing. He is the founder of that.
There's one right there.
Yep, another one behind him too.
You know, you might see it in other states and other places, but I promise you, it originated right there on Kenny Harris's boat.
You know, sharks are considered somewhat of a nuisance fish by a lot of anglers offshore because they're big, they're heavy, you catch them on heavy tackle. The reeling up of them is actually anticlimactic to the initial bite. But where I go in the shallow water and you take fly rods, if people think a tarpon eating a fly is a great bite, you should see a 300-pound bull shark eat a chicken feather. It's the best bite in fly fishing. It's a big lemon too. Fish is over 150.
30+ years after he nabbed his first shark on the fly,
oh, I thought he was going to eat it.
He's still at it.
How did he not eat that? And I have the perfect dirty white flies.
Maybe a change in flies will do the trick.
These guys need to be used up because they're just basically rotting away in my box here.
The lemon shark doesn't seem to mind.
Hello. Let's go ahead. Pick up the pace. All you gotta do is lift the engines and go with them. All right, you can go towards him a little. If he goes off into the channel, you need to be in the channel, okay? Here comes the fly line. Hit neutral, Billy.
Neutral.
I'm in neutral. You'll now get a look at him. Get him right up to the top there. And there's a lemon shark. He's about 70-pound lemon. All right, here we go, Clay. You don't want to reach out too far, Clay. There you go, easy. If he comes off, it's okay. Good deal. Hey! Then we do the shark shuffle. But I'm built more like a bull shark. Clay's built like a lemon shark. Now I've gotten that out of my system. You can catch the rest of them.
If there was ever an angler in the right place at the right time, his name would be Ken Harris.
I grew up in Fort Lauderdale.
Growing up in Florida, legendary angler Ken Harris had a passion for water.
My earliest memories were always of hanging out with my dad, and me and my dad going fishing on Deerfield Pier. We would go up there every weekend. I was absolutely a pier rat.
A pier rat with a bird's eye view.
It was great because piers gave you a real nice view looking down at the fish. And when you can look down and see how they're actually acting and feeding, I think that really helped me for the rest of my life.
And then one day, Ken met a future fishing buddy with an idea to head south.
I remember the day I met Bruce at surveying, he said to me, he goes, "Ken, do you like to fish?" I said, "Bruce, if I got one passion in the world, it's fishing." And so for a couple of weeks, I kind of always had something else to do, and he finally just demanded that we go.
One problem, though, Ken had a real job, and his boss was ready to offer him a big promotion.
I thought about that for like 10 or 15 seconds as I was standing there. The guy's name was Bill Keith, and I said, "You know, Bill, I think I'll quit instead." I go, "Because I don't like this work that much."
Fishing was much more important, and the Florida Keys called his name.
When Bruce and I were doing a lot of our tarpon fishing, Channel 2 was our very favorite bridge. There was just something about that bridge. It's set up so perfectly. All my pants had holes worn right at pocket level where I was rubbing the concrete fishing those bridges. But what a great time, and what a great place to be able to go on a weekend, and every weekend we were down there.
Bridge fishing lasted only so long before the two bought their first boat, 1975.
I remember Bruce and I going to the credit union, borrowing $1,250 each, which seemed like all the money in the world. Scary as heck to borrow money to buy a boat, but we went ahead and did it.
It wasn't long before people began to take notice.
And it sort of became everything we were about. Sailfish tournaments, you know, learning to catch live baits. By 1979, we had won the Fort Lauderdale Billfish tournament like 3 times in a row. And I remember somebody asking us, a newspaper person saying, you know, "How do you guys do this?"
The legend of Ken Harris grew, and world records began to fall.
You know, the pursuit of records at one time was pretty important to me, and I really enjoyed it. Most all of them were the product of planning, that we looked in the record book, we said, well, here's a record that we could actually do. And then we would pick the tackle and everything, go out and do it. And that kind of fishing was a very cool thing. It's getting a little lost now, but I love that style of fishing. That's a nurse, isn't it?
While he doesn't chase tournaments or records any longer, Ken still chases the fish.
Yay! There we go. Get the line to clear. There you go. Should we go after him? Let's go catch this one, Clay. It was fun, though. Let's go catch a tarpon.
Tarpon fishing, Ken's favorite.
And so right now I'm just trying to get a feel. This spot is hit and miss. It can be great, but I'm not sure if I want to fish it or go on down to the harbor. Let's anchor here for a few minutes. Let's fish a little bit, see what happens. This is a match the hatch sort of thing. We're going to be throwing bunches of this bait over the side and dropping back with it, trying to look just like it does. Okay, in all the world, there is nothing a tarpon likes better than fresh dead. The question is, are they back here right now?
We'll find out soon enough.
There he is. Yay!
Still to come on Legends of Rod and Reel, the family that fishes together stays together. But who's the best angler of them all? We'll answer that question. You're watching Legends of Rod and Reel.